Hi guys, this is Best Boomer back with you. Please listen to my video. They're usually not more than 10 minutes long. Like it if you like it, and share it, and consider subscribing if you would. It's Best Boomer on YouTube. I'm still trying to build my subscribers. Well, today I'm going to wade into kind of a deep subject in some ways. So I've been seeing this online, Waterloo Courier, because I follow the Courier and KWWL, because I grew up in Waterloo, Iowa. Lived there my whole life, practically, until we moved to Cedar Falls for a time, and then retired to Arizona. So I put out a comment there, and I can't really jump. I screenshotted it, but I can't really jump there from here. It's in my gallery, and basically saying that yet one more example of something being changed because it offends somebody, and that what a Griffin actually means is good, and that I'm sure that's what the Waterloo Police meant it to mean. A Griffin, I'll read you here. I did a little bit of research. I don't want to just talk out of about this. It's an amalgamation of a lion and an eagle, and it gains courage and boldness. And it stands for strength and military courage and leadership. And so it's a very good thing. And I did some further research because apparently it's coming out from the black community that it's offensive to many of them. And although in all my time in Waterloo, I never heard of any of this, and I did work within the system, and so did my husband, in policing and juvenile justice. And so it's kind of surprising to me. But anyway, so I wrote this comment, and lo and behold, a person comments back, and this is typical when you disagree with the liberal side, and I'm guessing this is where this comes from. It says, yeah, from an old white lady who no longer lives here. And so, okay, no need to attack me. I guess it's true. I am older, although I sure don't feel that way. I bet I do more physical things than she does, and I bet I'm younger in years as far as my health goes than she is, because I happened to look her up on Facebook, and which I'm sure she did me. And here she's a very heavy-set white girl, probably in her 30s, with a child, no husband that I can see. But I thought, well, listen here. So I go on to explain that, I grew up in Waterloo, and that this is just one small piece in the whole big picture of people being offended by things that were never, ever meant to offend. And they shouldn't even offend. And we can't account for everybody's feelings, for crying out loud. And you kind of see what you want to see in these things. But so I thought I'd do some research to see if there's any basis for this. I thought it was interesting that it's a white woman replying to me and not a black community member, since they're the ones so offended. But she went on to say, too, that, I don't have any dog in the fight, and, basically just stay out of it. Well, she's right, I don't have a dog in the fight. But the grander, larger principle and scheme of things, I damn well have a place in that, because it's happening all around us, in case you haven't noticed. So the Griffin, I told you what it means, but apparently the KKK, the grand dragon of the KKK, and mind you, the only thing I've ever associated with the KKK was hate of blacks, and they wore white robes, okay, period. That's it. Never really studied them that much. But apparently, the Grand Dragon, who wears an orange robe, has I'm going to guess they're calling it a dragon, since he's a Grand Dragon, but it looks like the Griffin on the Waterloo Police car and emblems, although it's transposed, but very similar. So it's there, although, man, you'd have to dig for it. And I don't think that most people would even know that connection. It's like, huh, where did that come from? So I went a little further and I looked up the Antidefamation League to find a list of their hate symbols. And lo and behold, surprise, surprise, that Griffin is definitely not on their list of hate symbols. Now, you think if it was a recognized symbol of hate, it would be on there. But no, it wasn't. So, and the thing that I found very interesting on their site, and I think that this is what I would go to the bank with in discussing this whole issue, is the Anti-Defamation League actually says symbols must be evaluated in the context in which they appear. Few symbols are used exclusively by one group. So if you examine this in the context of which it appears, it's, based on courage and strength and vigilance and not afraid of anything. And that's exactly what I want police officers who serve the community to be. I want them to be strong and fearless. I don't want them to discriminate, of course not. But I will tell you, statistics bear out. And I don't care, what we see on the news. If you take one incident at a time, the incidents that we will see will be the ones where a black man is shot in the back by a police officer, clipped for that moment in time. So everybody makes up their mind about the racist police and paints them all with the same brush, and that's the end of the story. No waiting to hear the whole story. And I will tell you, there is always more to the story. Now, out and out murder, of course, everybody's against that. But in protecting the community and what the police officer senses as a risk to them is something else that you can't know without an investigation. And then let it come to light. And every single time these incidents come up, the one thing they all have in common is the person getting hurt is the one not following the officer's instructions. If I have said that once, I've said it a million times in my career as a probation officer. Do what the officers tell you to do, and you'll come out of it just fine. Now, if you were wronged, or if you didn't do something that they think you did, by God, take it to court and fight. And my thoughts are 9 times out of 10, you're going to come out fine. The truth wins out. Now, again, you can point to a time, that there are cases that, as time goes on and there's DNA evidence and all of that, that it's determined, the courts weren't always right. They were right on what they had to go on at the time, but not always right. But you have to look at the whole big picture. You have to look at all the stats, and it tells, I think, the right story. And just watching the media, you are not going to get the whole story. And it's very, very unfortunate. And right now, it's really impacting the police. And I think it's tearing the country apart for whatever reasons. And of course, we have a long history with the black community, but I think things have gotten very much better over the years. And there are many, many blacks who will stand up and tell you. And I say blacks, some of them they're not African American. They might be black, but they're not necessarily African Americans, okay? So it's things are better, and that's what I'm gonna hang on to. But this, as I say, is one more little piece, and it pits the black community against the white community, which, you know, it's unfortunate that it can be such an easy split. You know, I would hope that there's a time where you hang together and you know, you're against wrong, not white or black, because that's not it. The bottom line is right and wrong. And here there's really no right and wrong when it comes to the Griffin, other than it's one more piece that somebody said they were offended about, and then it's changed. You know, the statues that come down, the history, understand the history. What were the thoughts when that was chosen as a logo for the police, and consider the context. And that is what it's about. And we shouldn't have to give in. And I mean we as a community, you know, and I'm in Arizona, I gather that, but I'm saying the whole, you know, of our population. You're not going to please everybody, and chances are you will offend somebody, but consider the context and the intent, and go from there. Okay, this is Monday, and that's a heavy subject for a Monday. I was going to do something happy, but when that person responded to me, I thought I got to respond back. Well, lo and behold, I went back because I was going to read it to my husband. I kind of laughed about it. And she deleted her responses to me. Now, you tell me what that means. I have no idea. She didn't know me from Adam, I don't think. I didn't know her. But to attack the person for a different opinion or for their opinion, come on now. But for whatever reasons, she took her post down. Mine are still there. And if you know me, you know that I don't back down from anything. So, and I have my opinion, and I try to base it on fact, and I do my research. So there you go. Like it, share it, consider subscribing, and I'll be back on probably Thursday or Friday with some products. Those are my favorite. There usually isn't much controversy about that. Okay, you take care. Stay safe out there. Bye-bye.